Here, I show you guys what the car does when you slam a door shut, okay? Now watch this area here. You see that? It's vibrating. This is absolutely ridiculous how you can make a car with such a poor, cheap-ass slam.
So what I actually think happened with like the Chevy Tahoe is that it replaced the soccer mom van. Every mom was driving a van and there are no vans anymore on the road.
So those are city SUVs.
Yeah, so they are the new soccer mom car.
Hello. Hey, baby! Oh, sorry, Homer. We thought you were one of those hot-to-trot soccer moms. See? Instead of a cigarette lighter, it's got a lipstick holder.
Ah, crap! It's a girl's car! I can't drive this! Shut up! Screw you guys!
So here we are at the Cholla Cactus Garden in Joshua Tree National Park with our injured Philip.
Every time I sit in a car, I hold myself on the little hooks which are up here.
The handle, yeah.
They don't have them.
There is no handle above the seat. This is really weird.
I always hold myself on them.
I think they simply forgot it. But they gave you this handle to get in.
Yeah, but it's not to hold, it's just...
Especially in your condition.
Yeah, but I don't need it.
You don't need it. You got a broken thumb and a crutch, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
Look who's driving our car for the first time. So Philip thinks he's going to be able to walk again in about 2 days. So they call this the Skull Rock. I would say it's more like the Planet of the Apes rock. I think she starts to like it, okay? It's a V8. That makes it easy. So talking about the gas consumption of this vehicle, the average since we left Las Vegas after 2,500 kilometers, as you can see here, is 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers. So that is not completely terrible. To put this in the right words, GM did not f this up completely.
But it's a Chevy.
A Chevy is a GM vehicle, my dear.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. That's the best I can put it, because everything else on this engine is not up to date. Okay, so we made it to the Grand Canyon Plaza Hotel, and our temporary disabled kid is coming also.
Oh my God. Look where we are.
Now we hiked down the canyon in, I would say, 2001, and we stayed down there on a campground near the Phantom Lodge. And then we hiked back up with back then very skinny Vera. Oh no, that didn't sound right. So we are on our first rim walk. We were actually planning to go on a real hike, but this obviously doesn't work yet. I'm not allowed to show you the clip how this happened.
No, that's the Bright Angel Trail. We hiked that one.
So that's an unusual thing, using a shuttle bus.
So I assume that's one of the helicopter tours and not a rescue helicopter.
For $800 gone. Sticker did you buy?
I bought the I hiked the Grand Canyon sticker.
But it doesn't say 20 years ago. So by the time this vacation is over, I think I will be able to center this car on the parking spots. It's getting better because by now at least it's standing there straight and parallel, but I still don't hit the center. This would make a spectacular scenery for a Hollywood movie, like for a Western or something. I wonder if anybody ever had that idea before.
Quiet, he's gonna say something.
I'm kinda tired. I think I want to go home now. So it's 95 degrees today and it's past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This way we don't need to get a permit to enter the Arches National Park.
That is true.
So we waited in line for about 2 hours and pulled a number, and now it's Vera's turn. She's mad because I said she looks sweaty. So we're here in Moab and it's already quite hot. It's right away in the morning. So the first thing you do here in the States is remote start your vehicle. Which is still the weirdest thing for us Germans, that this is still legal. But I don't judge that. I think this is a really great function. I enjoy it a lot. So for everybody who doesn't know, for the most part of Europe and the rest of the world, it is not legal to let a vehicle run while nobody is sitting inside. The vehicle automatically starts the air conditioning on the inside. That is really great. So Vera is collecting these stamps in every national park. I wonder if it's now illegal for me to film this.
That's from today, and yesterday we went into the Needles district, which we cannot show you the footage of.
Yeah, and look how happy she is. Here I show you guys what the car does when you slam a door shut, okay? So when I open this up, now watch this area here. You see that? It's vibrating.
No, they forgot the flapper things.
They forgot somehow to exhaust the air, and that's also why you have such an impact on your ear when somebody closes the door and you sit inside. I could show you guys these amazing viewpoints here at the Island in the Sky grand viewpoint of the Canyonlands National Park. But the federal government of the United States does not permit to publish these. So here's some more illegal footage for you guys. Isn't that an awesome view? You gotta love the home of the brave and the land of the free. So she got her new hat. That's item 1 on the list of 15.
A Moab hat.
Check out all these watt cruisers here. They are for basically canyon tours. So today we're fueling up in Moab, and the gas here is really cheap. I can get the 91 for $4.42 basically. The further you get away from California, the cheaper the gas gets. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing being a German over here, because everybody over here on vacation is from Germany.
Yeah.
Oh. So the speed limit on the I-70 in Utah here is 80 miles per hour. And I'm actually afraid driving 80 with our Chevy Tahoe here, because the car handles like a big water balloon on axles. The version we got here is the LT, which is the baseline equipped. Actually, there's one lower spec version too, I think the LS. So we got the LT, which starts at around $57,000, the way the rental car is equipped here. In the 2-wheel drive version, okay, so that's the minivan soccer mom version, what we got.
Shut up! Screw you guys!
And it does say that it has an extremely smooth ride in the US press. Yes, it does. The ride is so smooth, by sacrificing any handling abilities of this car, that you certainly don't feel any bump. But you do feel whoop-de-doos on the road so bad that your cargo in the back actually lifts off the ground and falls back down.
That has happened several times.
It has. So everybody should be buckled up like in an airplane. It doesn't have one of those signs you can turn on and off. I gotta yap about the engine again. So the car comes with the 5.3 liter standard GM V8. That car has 355 horsepower, so just about the same horsepower this engine had in 1972. The second option is the 6.2 liter V8 with 420 horsepower. That's also about the same as a car in the 70s had here in the United States. So I think the good thing is they stick with the proven technology.
Exactly.
And I would assume the engine is extremely reliable, even though I don't know that. There is also a 3.0 liter inline-six diesel engine available, more than 600 Newton meters of torque, and I think something like 280 horsepower. It's really difficult to find out how much horsepower these engines have because nobody gives a damn over here. It's all about torque. My preference would be the 3.0 liter diesel inline 6 because of the torque. The naturally aspirated V8 versions are quite torquey, but only under higher RPM. So paired with that 10-speed automatic transmission, they do have to shift down quite a bit before they get their torque. So even though the engine responds quickly, the transmission does not.
Oh, broken down Jeep. No, Toyota.
Toyota on the side of the road with his flashers on. Okay, I think he's ruining the statistics. Yeah. So I assume the diesel responds better and quicker when you demand torque, even though it has a little bit of less horsepower, but I think it's just a more modern engine versus these V8s out of the 70s. The car actually has some assist functions. For example, it has even a lane assist where it tries to keep you in your lane as long as you have your hands on the steering wheel. That works about as good as if you would have your 85-year-old grandma reaching over into your steering wheel and trying to correct you staying in the lane. That's about the quality you get there. There is no comparison to a luxury German car like a Mercedes or a Volkswagen, even a Volkswagen. So if I let go, it will drift over to this side. Now it will correct. It will attempt to correct. Now it will drift over to the other side.
And then
you can see that here, but it won't be able to correct. Well, I was, you know, it's like okay, it's zigzagging like the car is drunk. And at one point, it will tell me take the steering wheel. It does the same thing on a Volkswagen or on a Mercedes, but the car doesn't act like it's drunk. It also has an alert when you approach traffic too quickly. It will warn you. It did that on our 3,000-mile road trip a couple of times. These assist functions work in this car like in a bad app out of the App Store. Something what a student programmed, and he pre-released it as a
beta version.
Exactly. The reason this car has such a smooth ride quality is because it's an independent suspension, front and back. So actually quite modern. And I assume in the four-wheel drive version it's actually somewhat capable. But what do I know? In the better equipped version like the C71 with the 6.2 liter V8, it actually comes air ride equipped. I don't know how it's... Yes. The interior noise is extremely low, even at 80 miles per hour, competitive to a Land Rover. Except for when you slam the doors shut, you better wear earplugs if someone is sitting on the inside and you slam those doors shut. That is really a big downside of this car.
Oh, Toyota.
Second Toyota on the side of the road stalled within 20 miles, so what the hell? Probably didn't get his oil change after 300,000 miles. Visibility is horrible, not suitable for any country outside of the US, really. In countries where you actually have to park, this car is no good. If you just have to stop to park it, like over here, it's okay. The rear assist camera is high quality, the display is really large, and it makes it possible to back this car up really well. So in the rear, this is fixed. Maybe it's available with a front camera. I don't know. The air conditioning in the vehicle works well. It's quiet, it's powerful, and it works also in the back. No complaint from Philip over all the miles we did with it.
Look at how straight that road is.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
You cannot fall asleep here. You need to have lots of coffee.
The driving in this vehicle, or I should say traveling and overlanding in this vehicle, is extremely enjoyable. For driving over here, this car is extremely well suited for these highways. I don't need any handling. So I got the Soccer Mom truck now with the two-wheel drive because I was too naive thinking that a full-size truck in the United States is always equipped with four-wheel drive. Man, was I wrong that they make this baby with two-wheel drive. But this car is certainly useless as a two-wheel drive. There's no essence then. The essence is not there. It's gone. I know it's not Chevy's fault, okay? The car makers usually provide vehicles exactly in the specification what the buyers demand. So we're entering the Goblin Valley State Park. And there is actually a slot canyon on the side, which is for free. And that's what we gotta check out. And let's see how far we have to go before this is really gonna get narrow.
Do you want to go up front?
No, this way I can help you when you get stuck.
No, yeah, now I do worry that there's no thunderstorm.
Well, there is one supposed to be in 2 hours up north, so we should be okay.
Christian has a backpack now.
Hiking a slot canyon with a broken thumb? Check.
Yeah.
We did not expect that.
It was really stunning.
Yeah.
What a nice area in the sunset. So here I show you what I mean why this trunk is pretty useless. This is in a slope and in an angle, so you can't even sit here. No way. This is where the flat area starts, right here, and then it goes in. We got the back row seats folded down. At least they fold down flat. Another thing where you can see how bad it really is designed is Philip's bike. In our much smaller Discovery 3, if we put it in like this, we don't need to take the front wheel out. Now, if you think about how big that wheel is, we're missing in height here at least like 3-4 inches. This is ridiculous how low this thing is. That's because they waste all this height here. And there's no reason for that, because there's nothing underneath the freaking car. They got a spare wheel underneath, just like the Discovery. Except on a Discovery, it's not sticking out on the bottom like this. And it doesn't ruin the departure angle like on this one. See how far down the wishbone brackets are. Also, look how far the diff is down. You can't even call this an SUV. Except, you know, it's like shit utility vehicle. There's nothing in here. This is all empty. It's just like a big body of plastic. If you need this thing because your body doesn't fit in a Land Rover, okay, accept it. Buy this car. It's definitely much more comfortable for you. Yeah, I already said it's completely wasted. Plus, when you step on this, look at that stuff. This is like... I'm German, okay? I might be a little picky, but this is below anybody's standard. You don't even find that in a Kia anymore. How cheap this is designed. You get on there with your knees, you're afraid it's gonna crack and cut yourself in your knee. I haven't opened this yet, but any lid you have in a trunk, as you can see, is useless. Unfortunately, I can only roast this car, and I can only be sorry for any dude who spent his money buying this.
Why don't you just get a Toyota?
That gives that sentence some weight. On a Land Rover, it actually doesn't, because the Land Rover is so much better than a Toyota in many aspects. Just not reliability, okay, guys? You got us there.
I also don't like that the antenna, the fin shark antenna,
Is on the side?
yes.
I actually thought this is quite a neat spot.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't interfere with the sunroof if you have that option. And it kind of looks boring on the back where every vehicle has it. So I gotta say, this is not the worst design. I got now another 10 minutes of complaining about this car in.
Yeah, that's what you get when you can't shoot in a national park.
So the interior of this car is not a complete debacle. The materials are quite nice. Everything has a good soft touch to it. As far as the drive modes go, there is a mode selector switch here, and you can go to Sport, Snow and Ice, and Tow and Haul. There is an auto light switch. There is an auto start-stop feature, park distance control. This is your lane assist, which works like your 85-year-old grandma. and there's traction control off, electric parking brake. Not very nice in an SUV, just like in a Land Rover. It would be nicer to operate this by hand. You can change the layout here. There is, for example, the display layout. You can go to classic. It changes it. I think it's just a toy. Doesn't really have much sense in it. You can also configure the gauges, so the lower gauges, the side info, left side info, what you want displayed. You can choose here what you want on your info page. So I got a timer, tire pressure, fuel economy, driver assistance, and oil life, which I think is computed, but still. There's also brake pad life, front and rear, air filter life, I think that's also calculated, and engine hours. The gas consumption summary over our 3,115 mile trip is 22.4 miles per gallon. But remember, this is US highway where you don't push the car at all. In the center, you got this infotainment screen here, which is pretty much useless because we did not use the maps option. I did not rent this from the rental car company. None of the stuff displayed here was of any use except the rear view camera, which is quite nice. Surprisingly good. Also, the resolution is decent. The gear selector switches are here push button or pull buttons. Works decent. If you, for example, want to roll back and forth when you get stuck, this is not possible with these buttons, but that's on any automatic transmission. Here you got some controls for the display. You got the climate control, which works really good. You have auto and sync for both sides. What's kind of weird is if you make a change, the blower van always acts up. It goes up high, it goes up low. It does not respond immediately, but other than that, it works. There is a charging pad for your iPhone installed here with a couple of USB ports. Surprisingly, this charging pad is not part of the base trim level. You need to get this LT trim level at least to have that charging pad. So I think that's pretty cheap. What I liked a lot is the center console and also the material of the seats and the adjustability of the seats. They are extremely comfortable, like you would expect from a big American SUV. And the center console, you can open it up. It got this little light here, which I think is a very smart feature. So it has this little tray in here. You can slide it back and forth with an USB port here. And I was able to charge my batteries in here. Very nice. Also, the quality is very high. Nothing rattles here on the inside. It got the 4 cup holders, as you can see here. This is the control switch for the rear hatch, how far it opens. And then there's some stuff I didn't use here with the on-demand, where some Indian guy picks up when you got a problem. Philip was missing this handle here on his back window. He uses that a lot. He complained about that several times. The seats here in the back are reclining and move back and forward. You have lots of compartments here in the door, many of them. You have on the outside these push buttons here. When you have your key with you, all you got to do is push this button and the door will unlock. Here in the back, you can see you can slide the seats back and forward and fold them down or lean them back a little bit. Sorry, but we are on vacation here, so there's a little bit garbage everywhere. The luggage compartment with the seats folded down is not much bigger than in a Discovery 3 or Discovery 4. Especially the compartment height from here to here is much lower. So overall, we had this vehicle now for a total of 16 days and drove around with it, and on-road driving is absolutely awesome here in the United States. But I wouldn't want to have one of these on the Autobahn. That would be like a big joke. The wind noise is reduced very good by the engineers. They took well care of adding all sorts of plastic strips in all areas. This is not looking very durable, but it does function very well. It reduces wind noise. They have good gaskets, good seals. I would say much better than on a Jeep. So we did not pay much for this rental car for almost 3 weeks. It was only like $1,400. So my final assessment on the car is that it's for me unbelievable that these cars are made as a two-wheel drive vehicle. Now as a two-wheel drive, I only give it a 3-star out of 5 stars.
Really?
That's it for our assessment. Thank you guys for watching, and
We'll see you next Sunday.